Drop down below in the comments if you guys think that Senator John Kennedy has solidified himself as a national treasure, okay? Drop down below in the comments if you guys think Senator John Kennedy is a national treasure, all right? It's great to see you guys. There's a lot to unpack here, and I just want to say one of the things I love about Senator John Kennedy is that he's so straight to the point, okay? He's old school, he's straight to the point, and this is why we call him No Nonsense Kennedy, all right? Those are just some things that I really admire about him. He's straightforward, very bold, and tells it like it is. All right. It's so refreshing in such a crazy world that we live in today. Shout out to the King Squad. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. It's great to see you guys. And let's get right into the video. Let's go.
About Iran. For more on this, we want to bring in Republican Senator of Louisiana, John Kennedy, who was just in that classified briefing with Trump administration officials about Iran. Senator, always grateful to see you. Let's start there. Did you come out of that briefing thinking that Iran's nuclear program has been, quote, obliterated?
Here's what I took from the briefing, or at least as much as I can tell you, Casey. In technical terms, we knocked the living crap out of our three targets. Before Israel and America did what we did, Iran was within days of having a nuclear weapon. Now
within days?
Within days.
That's what they told you in this briefing?
Within days. Now it will be a long time. A long time. Could they rebuild? Of course, you can rebuild anything. Will they rebuild? We were told that the country, socially, psychologically, economically, certainly militarily, is shambolic at best. If they do try to rebuild, we will know. Israel will know. I can't speak for America, but I can assure you that if they do try to rebuild, Israel will be on them like a bad rash. Is the solution, or is the problem solved permanently? No. Iran's still Iran. But there's only one country in the world right now that thinks Iran ought to have the bomb, and that's Iran. One of the surprising things to me was how little support Iran has or received from its colleagues.
Sir, just to kind of circle back and put a finer point on this, the days that they were to getting a bomb, that seems to be different from what Tulsi Gabbard had testified to in March. Was there a new assessment? Was that the Israeli assessment? Was that a new American assessment? Was that information new to you in this briefing?
It was new to me. This was a good briefing. It was one of the best I've ever attended. I mean, Rubio, Hegseth, Ratcliffe, General Kane, they didn't bring out a script and read carefully from it. They just looked us in the eye and talked to us and gave us plenty of time for questions. And they were refreshingly candid. And I think it would be, I know that the debate's been going on, are the facilities or the ability to make a bomb, is it permanently destroyed? Is it partially destroyed? Look, they could make a bomb very quickly before Israel and America went in. Now they can't, not for a long time. If they have the appetite to even try again. The country right now is a hairy mess. And the Ayatollah is not just fighting for his power, he's fighting for his life. Now, we were told that we don't want to just let this end here. We want to continue to pursue peace. We have contacted Iran. We want to meet with Iran. We don't want to meet with Iran through a third party, as Rubio says, passing notes back and forth like a third grader. We want to meet directly with Iran, and we want to do it soon to talk about where we go. Will Iran reciprocate? I don't know. I really don't know.
Sir, to that point,
and I just want to interject and say right there, that's one of how do you guys feel about everything with what Trump did in Iran? Okay, I certainly see it as I think it'll be one of those things where only time will tell. Okay, and I think that Trump made interesting decisions with within the moment kind of thing. It was one of those kinds of things, like a decision had to be made. But then again, Many people are on various sides of that conversation. So let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comments. Do you think Trump made the right decision? Okay. Do you support what he did, or, what are your thoughts on it? How do you feel about it? A lot of people bring a lot of different perspectives. So I always want to see what you guys think about that. Okay. I personally think that only time will tell. I think that, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, but will they stop fighting? I kind of doubt it. I personally doubt it. These countries have been at war for a very long time. Do I think these wars will stop? I personally don't see it happening. But then again, I could be wrong. That's kind of where I stand with that. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. How do you feel about that? And let's get on, because Senator John Kennedy is letting it be known what's going on out here. Let's go.
This actually just crossed here at CNN. We put it out 5 minutes before we came on the air here. The headline: Iran says no plans set up to resume nuclear talks with the U.S. And this is from the Iranian foreign minister, who says Washington has a history of, quote, betraying the negotiations in the middle of the process. Your reaction?
Well, the Ayatollah, he lies like he breathes. He's trying not only to save face, he's trying to maintain power at home. All I can tell you is that within 20 minutes of us asking for a ceasefire, they pounced on it. All I can tell you is what our intelligence shows. Things in his country are shambolic. They're hurt. They're hurt badly, and none of their friends came to their aid. You couldn't have found China or Russia with a search party. I was worried about that. I think Iran knows it's out there naked and alone, and I think eventually they'll come to the table. But you can't put too much stock in what the Ayatollah says. He's not just fighting for his power; he's literally fighting for his life.
Sir, let me ask you about this Defense Intelligence Agency assessment that assessed with low confidence that this had only set the program back by months. How did the officials in this briefing explain that assessment to you?
It was a early partial assessment taken out of context. I kind of like, this is what I took away from it, Casey. If you looked at one of the memos that a member of my staff wrote to me about provider tax in the bill, in the reconciliation bill, and from that you tried to extrapolate how I was going to vote on the bill, you would likely be in error. I think this was an intentional leak by somebody who wanted to do harm to this administration, by somebody who probably has a history of disappointing his parents. And it got a lot of press coverage. I understand the press is going to cover this sort of thing, but I really do think it was not accurate, and it was taken out of context, at least based on what I was told today. And I believe Rubio. I believe General Kane. I believe.
Are they going to limit intelligence sharing with Capitol Hill out of this?
Well, they didn't seem to be doing it today. I think they're going to continue to share intelligence with our relevant committees. But I think I think this leak spooked them. I don't blame them. I mean,
you think it came off the Hill?
I don't know. I have no idea. My guess is it came. No, I really don't, honestly. But I shouldn't have said that. But that's what my gut tells me. I just think this was done in a way to try to hurt the president. And I get politics. I've seen the good side and the dark side. But it wasn't a good time. I mean, the country needed to. This was a successful strike, I can tell you. If you're against Iran having a bomb, and you can slice it and dice it any way you want to, but that's the bottom line.
Yeah, completely agree with Senator John Kennedy on that. I mean, if you are completely in support of making sure Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, then this definitely was a successful strike. All right. But I know that there are many different sides of, a lot of people are seeing this. OK, a lot of people are saying a lot of different things. But I think Trump definitely, handles business. That's kind of what I boil it down to. Granted, it's a lot more complex than that. But in this moment, yeah, I don't think they'll be walking. I don't think Iran will be walking around, like the big bad wolf with nuclear weapons anytime soon. So shout out to Senator John Kennedy for even addressing that. Let's carry on with the video. Let's go.
Very interesting, sir. I realized I had asked you a question earlier as a two-part question. My mistake. But the second part of my question, I want to put a finer point on. The assessment that said that Iran was within days of having a bomb, is that Israeli or American assessment?
I don't know. I don't know. It just came up in their briefing of us today.
And also, it's our understanding
and
that
look, that's what was said, Casey. I haven't seen the intelligence. I can't tell you whether it's 1 day or 3 days or 30 days, but clearly they were close. That's why Israel went in. I mean, Israel did not beat around the bush. Okay, they did not fool around. They were on Iran like a bad rash. They didn't wait for America. Netanyahu didn't ask for permission. He went, and that tells me a lot.
I'm sorry that I have to cut off your. We always appreciate your turns of phrase, but President Trump is.
So there we have it. Shout out to Senator John Kennedy. Okay. And yeah, he always leave it to Senator John Kennedy to always tell it like it is. That's really how I see Senator John Kennedy, straight to the point and addressing the issue, hitting the nail on the head, and just telling it like it is, really. So that's my thoughts on that. As far as everything that goes on with Iran, like I stated previously, in this video, these countries have always been at war. At least, do I see these countries just ending the war? I personally don't. Even with the strike that the U.S. did on Iran. I'm not surprised that they would go against the ceasefire and everything like that. I mean, I was curious to see what they were going to do, but what they did not surprise me. So that's kind of that's really how I see it. So that's my thoughts on it, you guys. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. How do you feel about everything going on with Iran and Israel? Shout out to Senator John Kennedy. Shout out to President Trump. And shout out to the King Squad. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Thank you for all donations. It's great to see you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.